This meeting to order. So, before we actually start the meeting proper, I just want to come up with my usual bits and pieces, which is for the duration of this evening's meeting and according to standing orders, paragraph 3I, as chairman, I waive the requirement to stand when speaking unless you wish to do so. The next is a very serious matter in that Alf Jewis recently passed away. He had assumed the role of mayor on May the 13th, 2015, and tendered his resignation on March the 28th, 2016. The flag at Cuts Close was flown at half-mast on March the 10th, which I think was Monday, to commemorate his passing. He will be missed. Okay, thank you. And on a happier note, welcome to Eve, Councillor Eve Tempest, to her first meeting of the council. Welcome, Eve.
It's vaguely threatening.
It is, isn't it? I know.
No, it isn't.
Okay, yes, congratulations. So, turning to the agenda proper then, first of all, apologies and reasons for absence.
We have had no formal apologies, but obviously we can see in front of us Hannah Williams is not here and Sylvia Cryer.
SP and S, okay. So are we still corporate?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
Significantly forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
two, three.
Okay. So can I just have a proposer for the lack of apologies and the fact that 2 people are missing? Have you copied that?
Well, which one are you picking?
I was going to put your hand up.
We want you to do it first.
You're proposing that we accept the fact that there's 2 people missing.
So you just say propose that.
Propose. So you're on the books already. Now you're done. And a seconder, please. Thank you. And all those in favour?
Are we just minuting their absence?
Yes, we are minuting their absence.
Because the agenda item says for their apologies, but we haven't had any.
No, but we're minuting their absence.
Okay, so then
There's no reason. I will obviously contact them and point out that they.
Well, it's unusual for Hannah, isn't it?
Okay.
She might be late, Mark.
She might be at the crossing.
Thank you for this informal discussion, but if we could move on, we've got a big agenda. Thank you. Number 2, declaration of members' interest and application for dispensation. Do I have any declarations of interest?
No.
No? Okay, thank you very much then. Moving on. Invitation from members of the public. We don't have any.
Yes, we do.
We do, yes, but do you wish to speak at all, sir?
No, I'm
Is she going off?
Thank you. Minutes to confirm the accuracy of the minutes. Chris, you're going to give me some guidance on this. We had some information we know from Councillor Brooks.
There were 2 points that I have taken unaccepted from Councillor Martin Brooks. Other than that, no one's made any comments. So basically, there are nothing that we need to worry about. They're not significant changes as they were before months ago.
Okay, but have you made those changes?
Yes,
to the
I've
minutes?
made them.
Okay. So with those changes made to the minutes, do I have any other comments about the minutes from last time? No. Can I have a proposer to accept the minutes then, please? So that's Councillor Chris Clark and Councillor Brooks. So sorry. It's difficult when you can't see the name tag, so I can see his blank.
Turn it around.
Thank you. It's only for my thank you. I know who you
And a
are.
vote for.
And a vote for to accept the minutes.
You can't.
No, you can't. You weren't.
You weren't here.
You weren't.
Okay.
No,
You weren't here,
it's
so carried. Thank you. Councillors' reports and questions. Do we have any reports from councillors?
I did have some constituents ask questions which I forwarded on to
carried.
Chris.
Yeah. But that, I assume they weren't formal questions.
Oh, okay, no worries.
That's fine. That we did.
Okay.
Anyhow, no worries.
Anybody got anything they want to say? Councillor Wadsworth.
Just to say that we've had a meeting this afternoon regarding the cycle race.
Oh, the sickle. Yeah.
I don't know whether to call it cycle or sickle or...
I don't know. It's CI, isn't it?
And what is on the table that I will bring later on is either Oakham Town Council take on doing the extras, as in stalls and stuff like that, or we leave it to Carolyn to do. But I'll bring that back later. But I just want to know that let you know that we are in discussions of sorting out some kind of, because the race is coming from Oakham to Oakham this year, we want to have something here for when the finish of the race, and also when people are just mulling around, because they will stay in town to see the beginning and the end, so it's worth having the shops open and
Okay.
pushing it.
Thank you very much for that. I'm always tempted to say it's just for the sight of men in lycra, isn't it?
Well, yes, that's why I go down there every year.
And those of us who enjoy it.
Yes.
Okay, that was all
Melton is
so
always-
thank you very much for that. Has anybody else got anything they want to say? Councillor's report.
Melton has always benefited.
Sorry, Councillor Clark.
I did attend the service in Peterborough Cathedral early this month, or late last month, when we were celebrating Rutland.
Okay.
So that was attended by
This is the sheriff and everything.
the High Sheriff, the Lord
Yeah.
Lieutenant, judges, service people. It was it was a lovely ceremony. First time I've been. So
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Was our chairman there?
We managed to minute
Was he
that.
there?
Thank you. Okay, moving on, no vote required, moving on to item 6, the chairman's, and then followed by the clerk's report. So I've got my little report here.
Could I just...
Please.
Just say, I'm recording this event, as I believe is also Councillor Embrook, so it's being recorded audio.
Okay.
Oh yes, we forgot that mention
Hence
at the
my notes
beginning.
not always as relevant as they need to be, because it's something to refer back.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for letting us know. So, turning back to the matter at hand, which is the chairman's report. So, I normally give a breakdown of what I've been up to. So, it's another busy and worthwhile month. Tuesday, the 18th of February, the town clerk and I met with the Rutland web designer in Uppingham to progress the design of the OGC website. It was agreed that a provisional design stroke prototype will be presented at the next retailers meeting later this month. I don't have the date for that meeting, do you?
Do it by my diary, I believe. On
Just
late March 29th. of
could
March.
you just make sure that we chase that up? 'Cause-
Yep.
And the retailers meeting with us.
25th of March.
25th.
Is it? And who's driving that?
I'm
retailers
assuming
meeting?
that Haley is.
I'm assuming as well.
Yeah.
So can we make a note of that, please, Chris?
Yep.
Can I just make a point?
Please.
New members were supposed to be added to the list, and we don't. Well, I can speak for myself. I saw the email asking to be added to the list, but I don't believe new members
list?
are the Haley's list.
Oh, for...
Because I didn't know there was going to be another meeting,
No.
so it
As far
needs
as I know,
to be.
Haley's got the
Could
list
I
and she
ask
sent it
how
out.
that? Could I ask how that was circulated, please?
That has only been given to me in, we think this is going to be the date.
It's really up to
It
Haley.
hasn't been circulated to everybody yet because I don't think it's been dotted and
No, that's
lost
fine.
yet.
then.
So we'll make sure that does in fact happen and everybody gets to hear about it.
Yes.
It's an important meeting,
Yes.
as is, so we get the first view of the website, which will be wonderful. So on Wednesday the 19th of February, we had a Teams meeting with David Edwards of Placemate to discuss the Oakham Place shaping draft plan. I was attended by myself, Sally, Councillor Wadsworth, and the town clerk. You weren't able to make it, I don't believe.
No, I
Councillor
made
Clark,
the
no.
first one, was it?
Yeah, I think the second one we did. Other members were invited, but as always, when you have a 6 o'clock meeting in the middle of the week, it gets very busy and fraught. So that was in preparation really for the meeting on Monday the 24th of February, which was at RCC for a town, again for the workshop for the town centre place shaping, where we're going to, we produced a draft list of short, medium and long-term interventions that will contribute to achieving vision objectives. The meeting was well attended by officers and portfolio holders from RCC, so there's a great spray of them all over the place, as well as, I know, and often, yeah, as well as Councillor Wadsworth, Councillor Clark, and the town clerk, and myself on behalf of OTC. It was an interesting meeting, and we're waiting now for Placemate to come back with their final plan and how they're going to approach and engage with the public on the findings of that workshop. Thursday the 27th saw myself and Councillor Wadsworth and Tom Tyler from Victoria Hall discussing the boiler replacement and drafting of the funding agreement, which we have done, and it's going to be presented in item 18. Friday, 28th of February, 4th of March was a meeting at Royal House with Oakham in Bloom. That's going to be discussed in item 14. This is for the planter enhancement. Saturday, the 1st of March, I had a bit of a pub session, reluctant whether to say this, with Councillor Clark regarding the twinning in Barnstead, wasn't it? It was a very tall session. The Sunday the 2nd and Monday the 3rd, meetings with the Oakham Smallholders Association, the Oakham Home Garden and Allotment Society to finalising the details of the lease. Again, further discussion agenda item 13. Yeah, I won't go any further detail for the moment unless you ask me. Thursday the 6th of the month, toilet refurbishment. Please start meeting with the contractors, RC officers, Edison's and town clerk and myself. As you can hopefully see now, the scaffolding's up, the bays are tightened off, the portaloos are in place, as is the whopping grey bin thing. Future events. Are there any questions about what's happening? Okay, future events. On Saturday, March the 15th, the town centre will come alive with the Spring into Oakham event. This promises to be a wonderful event featuring over 20 diverse stalls, live music, dances, guided tours, exciting competitions, a treasure hunt, farmers market and much, much more. The great news is that the weather is expected to be dry, perfect for spring event, maybe a bit chilly, but you can always get a warm drink. I am confident, he said looking around, that the coffee will join me in extending our best wishes for the spring event, with special thanks due to Councillor Sally-Ann Wadsworth and Kathy Geraghty, for our Deputy Clerk, for their dedication and hard work in organising this event. So thank you very much for that. I'm hoping it's going to be a roaring success, and I'm sure it will be.
I believe it will.
Do you want to say anything about the event itself?
Yes, if anybody'd like to come down and man the Oakham Town Council gazebo at any time during the day, that would be appreciated, because I do have a business to run and I would like to spend some time in there on Saturday. We have got the treasure hunt paperwork, which people will collect from the Oakham Town Council gazebo, so somebody's got to be there all the time to be able to give out the paperwork. We've got pencils from the Jubilee still left over, so I've asked Kathy to bring them down to use those. Oh. But yeah, it sounds, I mean, my WhatsApp has been buzzing all day, as you know. Yeah. And people are, it sounds very exciting, all the things that people are planning on doing. So, although I've had 2 or 3 people moan because they didn't know it was happening. I tried to get around everybody. I didn't get around everybody. I'm not saying I did get around everybody, because sometimes when I went past, they'd got a shop full of people, and I'm not going in there when they've got a shop full of people and then I forget to go back. So I apologise to any traders that I didn't get to. But yeah, it's as long as the weather's nice, I think it's going to be a good day.
Fingers crossed, and once again, congratulations with you, Kathy. That concludes my report. Over to the clerk's report.
Well, great, thank you, Chair. I'll keep it brief. As already been mentioned, I'll just give you the details. Work started with Metcalfe on the toilets at Church Street. With portaloos, we've put portaloos, one for male, one for female, one for disabled, that are there. Obviously, in a way, they're not very pleasant to a certain extent compared to the normal toilets. However, we've also put a notice up saying where other public toilets are available in the castle, the library and the museum. And this will carry on, I'm afraid, till May. So we've got builders, so the date of finalising it is in May. We don't know exactly when. May the 6th has been muted, but yes, I know what builders can be like, and I'm sure they will try their best, but there's a lot of work to do, so it's ongoing, as you should see already. We'll carry on. 2 dog bins are now been replaced in Princess Avenue. We're just awaiting a 3rd, so that should be completed in the next week or 2. Broken bin has been replaced in the centenary field. Biffa are working through all the bins that they said needed replacing. I think they've done the majority of them. You'll notice one in John Street has been done now, which was broken by the bus station, which was a big one. Biffa are obviously in the middle of a deep clean of the town centre at the moment. So I urge all councillors, especially those with shops nearby, If they see something that needs doing to clean up and make things better, tell us now, because every day they're out there cleaning the streets. They've been all the way through the High Street, they've been all the way past the railway crossing, up to Centenary Field. So they're doing a lot of work, and we are encouraging them, and they will go on to Centenary Field and look at the bandstand and get that cleaned up too.
Oh, excellent.
So that's all in hand. That obviously also we're all aware that graffiti was removed as much as it could be from the bandstand. Unfortunately, red paint was put all over a top section of it, but 80 to 90% of it was removed by the handyman. So we've advertised also for the co-option of the councils with Governor Sound and the press as much as we can. Unfortunately, disappointingly to all of us, I'm sure here, I have had no inquiries today. So, but we've tried our best.
How long have we got to go on that still? A couple of weeks?
We've got quite a long way on Love News, so the Love News will carry on for months, I think. But it's disappointing, but the public just aren't responding. So that's where I'll leave it at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Correspondence received, item 7?
No.
No.
Can I just...
there was one
Oh.
from ex-councillor Lucas, wasn't there?
Yes, there was from Joyce Lucas, yes. But that's, I can bring that up when the item comes forward.
Okay. Councillor Brooks.
I just wanted to say, because normally we're allowed to say something, aren't we, about the report?
Yeah,
Yes.
of course.
Yes, thank you to the clerk for sorting out the dog bins in Princess Avenue, but I will say that it's disappointing in a slight way that wasn't responded to me in my emails to the office saying, 4 months has passed, what's happening? And then the first I hear of it is this evening.
Picture.
I haven't looked this afternoon, so if you sent it this afternoon, then I haven't looked. But thank you for getting it sorted, because that was a big issue
Yes.
for residents, not me, but thank you.
And just while I'm on it, because I know Councillor Brooks pointed this out, you've got to remember with Glendale who do our emptying of bins, we're in the winter rotation, which means they only do it once or twice a week. So, whereas in the summer it's much more frequent. That's the contract. So there will always be the possibility of a build-up of waste over the weekend, but Monday morning they do everything.
Okay.
So that's when it will be cleared out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks everybody. So we'll move on now to item 8. What I'm proposing, but if everybody wants to discuss each item individually, that's absolutely fine. That we do 1, 2, 3, and 4 as a lump. So that's up to year 8.1 to 8.4. And if anybody got any questions on any of those items?
I have a thing on 8.5.
Okay, we'll come to that. So I separated it.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions? No? Okay, then can I have a proposer that we accept 8.1, 2, 3 and 4, please? Proposer is Councillor Brooks and seconder is Councillor Wadsworth. Thank you. Good. And a vote, please.
So, to be pronounced.
Okay, that looks like unanimous to me, with the exception of... Well, you can vote on this, did you vote?
Yes, she did.
I'm so sorry I missed you. That'll teach me to look down, won't it? So moving on now, the 8.5, the spend stroke transfer of over 5k requiring approval. So these are anticipated spends, they haven't been paid yet. We're hoping that we've brought them to you and that will be sufficient for us to be able to go ahead and make the payments as detailed in 8.5. So has anybody got any questions about 8.5? Councillor Brooks.
Yeah, I have, well, I'll thank the office for, this is the second time they've brought things, because obviously that was the biggest complaint, that it wasn't happening. But I do have an issue with the toilet cleaning, refurbishment, rebuilding, whatever, sums of money. We haven't complied with the contract notification requirements for contracts over, I believe it's £60,000. We should be treating these as a completely separate item. There should have been a public notice saying that we've gone into contract with Edison's, and so this to me shouldn't be included in this evening's 5,000 because it needs to come back because of the total contract value. It has separate legislation, and it all ties in with all the issues that we had with the government contractor site, because I haven't had a chance to look yet, but we are supposed to, we are supposed to put on there who we've awarded the contract to as well and how much it is, because of
on the public
yeah.
tenders, signed contract, fine, I can do that obviously.
Yeah, that has to be done, but then the regulations for approval are at a much higher level because of the amount of money involved that the council will be paying out.
We have approved the overall amount.
Yeah, but we have
and
which is fine. We've done that at the meeting, but there is a specific, like a document, it's very similar to that, an agenda item for, I believe it's all contracts over £60,000 must be put in the public notice board. We don't have to put them in the paper, but it should go on the government website in the public notice board, and the payments approved separately.
Okay.
So it's,
so
I'm asking
we're
that
bring this back at the April
meeting and bring it back.
This is stage 2, 3 and 4, yes?
Yeah.
yes, I'm asking if we can remove that authority from this document
Okay,
this
are
evening.
you proposing an amendment?
Yeah, that we remove that so the clerk can bring it back.
So this is the April and May stage 2, 3, 4 payments to Edison's, is that correct?
Yeah, because in total there it's way over 200,000, isn't it?
No, it's
sorry, 20 over 120, and it's sorry, I was misreading that first figure.
Yeah, there's a comma missing in there. Yeah.
I mean, obviously these are for the stage 2, 3 and 4 are just in a way should be a line there really. They are anticipated, and obviously in April we'll have a council meeting and they can be approved then.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so we can minute Councillor Brooks' amendment that
Because this is not split invoice either, it's accepted that a contractor would ask for in stages.
so 2, 3 and 4 is to be brought back to council once you've completed the public tender
Contract
finder website to say who we've awarded to, and also that we need to publish that, I believe, in our notice boards that we're making these payments. Okay. So with that in mind, can we bring that back on April and it's minuted? Can I have a vote, please, on the amendment from Councillor Brooks for 8.5? Sorry, I need a proposer, Councillor Brooks, and a seconder. Thank you, Councillor Wadsworth. And if I could have a vote on that, please, to accept all the rest. Are you voting, Councillor Dalthwaite?
No,
Are you abstaining?
yes.
Which one are we on though? So this is just to remove stage 2, 3 and
Yeah.
4?
You're abstaining?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in favour and 1 abstention.
Just a small point, Chair. It would be handy to have commas in the figures.
Yeah, it confused me.
I agree. Especially the 1251700.00 looks
Yes.
massive, doesn't it? Exactly. I agree entirely. I think that's called a typographical error. But thank you very much. So if we're happy that's passed with 1 abstention. So we now move on to 8.6, which is the SIL UK SPF budget update. Do you want to talk us through this?
Yes, I can talk you through this.
Councillor.
Right. So, it's obviously, I'm trying to put this carefully so I'll make it clear. Only recently was I informed that UK SPF funds are net, not gross. So everybody knows, I hope, that net means it's not with VAT, gross is with VAT. So you have between you 2 spreadsheets, one of which is gross and one of which is net. Because we need to spend UK SPF money net 50k by the end of this month. So so you can see on the column with the UKSPF money, we have,
That's the second sheet, isn't it?
this is the second sheet, sorry, yeah. The one that says initial balance 30 and 20k. It's complicated because what I have to do as your clerk is, and with the chair's approval, is I have to effectively, because of matters and not knowing for certain if certain things like the roundabout are going to go through in time, I have to make certain that we spend 30k in capital, 30k and over in capital, and 20k and over in operating costs before March the 31st, because if I do not spend it or have that right, then I will lose that money. That's the way the government does this. So it's complicated. We're on track to do that. There is some flexibility in that the operating costs can be moved into the capital item. So when you see the minus 16k in the capital, that's okay, because all we're doing is presenting a bill over it, which means that 2,476 you see in the operating costs can be moved over to the capital. Because I'm told by Haley, the officer at Rutland County Council, we can do that. So there is some flexibility in this. From my point of view, and I think the chair would agree, this is a nightmare scenario. I'm given very limited time to do this spend. We also, on the other sheet, with the SIL sheet, we're going back to gross figures now. There we have Base Bank, which you can see there, and that was for the community centre, on consultation on the community centre in Princess Avenue. We have at the moment, and obviously this has to be confirmed by this meeting, I've put down the boiler in Victoria Hall, but that's not been approved yet. And also you'll see that I've got Edison stage 2, 3 and 4, which we've just talked about on the other sheet, in the SIL money, but this is anticipated. Obviously none of the Edison's stage 2, 3 and 4 has been spent now, but that's for information, and you can see it says April and May for those dates. So that's where we are, and you can see that obviously the SIL payments which we've got to spend within 5 years of date of receipt, we're adding up significantly. In the end, we will have over 450k in SIL monies in our bank by the end of 25, 26. So there is money, and obviously I'm anticipating, because of planning applications that are going through, there will be more money in the future. So it's a complex situation. Any questions I'll try and answer as best I can, but what I'm trying to do with the chair's help is make certain that we, by March the 31st, and with obviously the chair of finance's help, have spent all the UKSPF money, because I should have said the 50k from the UKSPF is now in our bank balance, because once again RCC changed the whole goalpost very shortly and said, by the way, we're giving you the 50k, which is not what I heard a month ago, and now we have it in our bank balance. We won't say they made the mistake of putting it in the wrong bank account. There we go. Over.
So are there any questions on that, Councillor Brooks?
Yeah, it's not easy to do, but I'm quite confused by the UK
SPF.
Because I asked about that, because we've sat in meetings, which are not council meetings, but with Haley, and we've said we'd like this done, we'd like that done, yeah, it'll come out of that money. But from what I've seen in figures, wasn't 30,000 of that going to the toilet anyway?
No.
Or was it 20?
It is a fluid beast, so if you're confused.
And there's 20 certainly going to the cleaning of the town, isn't there?
No, 10k, that's 10k. So if you look at
9,296 to be precise.
and that's obviously, once again, this is a confusing bit. If you look at the deep clean, the figure you've got there is net, not gross. So in other words, it's very confusing, because on this figure you'll see net, and on this figure you'll see gross. But it doesn't matter. What we're doing, Councillor Brooks, is we're trying desperately hard in all here to anticipate what was going to go through and what is not. We cannot, for instance, as I stand here, I cannot guarantee that the Playscape Cuts Close roundabout is going to go through this month. We have assurances from them it will, but that of course doesn't mean we've all had.
Because we have the computer website, which you refer to as the town councils, but it's the town one.
Yes.
That's coming out of that, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, and that's been agreed in principle well before the money was transferred to us. So.
Okay.
So
Wow.
this is what I'm trying to say, and this is an awkward thing for me and the chair to say, this is not in stone. This will change during the next few days and weeks, because we don't know which of these sums will come through and which of them
In
will
that-
not.
in
There's
that
some
case-
more firm than others. For instance, you're voting, I'll just make an example, you're voting on Oakham and Bloom planters. You as a council may decide you don't want that on the list. You know, the only things, so the spring fair, which Sally Ann and Kathy are doing, as we know, it's got 5k there.
We're not
But-
spending on
At the moment, to date, we've spent 2.5k. So I'm in this situation where I've got all these plates spinning.
So there is an issue there, because we sat in these meetings saying we're going to spend this on that, that, and that, but then it's not happened. If you're saying there's some now possibility that it's going to change, will you not need to call a special meeting to approve those? Because you can't just say, well, I'm going to pay, I don't know, if you decided to put it all on the toilets. Well, we didn't approve that.
Can I just clarify?
Or if
that?
we're going to give it all to Oakham in Bloom, I just can't see how we've got to this situation where we've been told.
Can I
just
come in
now-
on that one, Martin, and try and get some clarity to the situation, if I may? So the situation is, as you know, that we've got a deadline by the 31st of March, it must be spent, the 30k and the 20k.
We knew that the other month.
Yes, and that's been well documented. There are payments that are coming up, for example, the Placegate Close roundabout, which we voted on as a council for £8,285 to come from the UK SPF, and that
And
was,
we've overspent on that.
we haven't overspent on that.
No.
Yeah, because it's gone way over the 8,000.
No, that was including VAT, wasn't it? And so with the non-VAT figures 8285. Remember, we do reclaim VAT. So the point is this: at the moment, we are anticipating the Cuts Close roundabout, as an example, of £8,285, excluding VAT, is going to be taken from the UK SPF budget,
Which we agreed.
which was previously agreed by council. So what may or may not happen is that before the 31st of March, they may not have carried out the work and completed the work before the 31st.
But we've approved that this evening.
But that's the expenditure. It's not. That isn't. And if we're unable to meet, it'll come out of a different budget, which will be the SIL money, because that's been authorised as well. So what we're talking about here is, it's extremely. I don't quite know how you expect us to handle it. It's a very difficult situation. We voted for the money to be approved. We've taken it from UK SPF. We're dependent on the contractors to fulfil that. They've said they will. So
Yeah, well, I would hope next time we might handle it a bit different.
if you've got better suggestions, I'd love to hear them.
well, I kept asking how much is left and no one would answer me, and so
Well,
it's been an ongoing, we have it now, but it's been an ongoing thing. It's not like it's just appeared
Okay.
this week. So we need to get something in progress in
Okay.
future so that this doesn't happen where we're told if we don't pay this, we'll lose it.
That's a long-standing government thing.
Well, no, when we knew we
When I
had
was
the
in the
money.
civil service 20 odd years ago, you didn't use it, you lost it.
Yeah, but we were at risk of losing it because we haven't managed the spending.
Okay, councillor.
Okay, thank you very much for your point. Then
Right.
it's accepted.
Yeah.
Councillor, sorry.
Yeah. I think what with a lot of delays of spending, we're now spending money at the wrong time of the year. To be spending anything like this 2 weeks before year end is really disappointing. We should have had this going through, we should have had the toilets going through months ago.
Well,
Because in that case, we've now got toilets going over 2 financial years and not 1. We've got the church wall. Is that going to get done by the end of the month?
No,
Highly
no.
unlikely.
That one we
So
don't, hopefully.
what we need to do is get it so that Chris is able to sit down in March and do nothing but year end. Because that is such a time consuming hair pulling out.
Okay.
And I imagine at your year end as well, you just want to just go sting, curl up and cry. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just make the point to Councillor Brooks? And Councillor Sally Ann was in the meeting. We were only told late September, I think it was September, that this money was available. That gave us 50k to spend in a very short term frame. For
5
we had
months.
to plan and get that right. And Sally Ann was there with me, and both of us looked shocked when we realised what was happening.
Okay.
And that was not our fault. We're just having to deal with late finances being literally, and the rules changing, I can honestly say, by the day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Councillor Nick, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to mention that I think seeing as we have already authorised this expenditure anyway,
Yeah.
it's a very, from my lay perspective, an important distinction. We have allocated these funds. Whether we're held up now by the contract or otherwise, we've already accepted that we're going to spend them.
Yeah, we have all these sums have been authorised at council. It's whether they come from the UK SPF, which because of the time constraint may or may not happen, but either way we're backed up by the other budget, the other budget from SID. So it's just, and I take your point entirely. So if there's no more questions, could I have a proposer to accept this item 8.6, please? The proposer is Councillor Clark, and the seconder is Councillor Douthwaite. And could I have a vote, please? And Councillor Brooks.
I just abstain.
Thank you, Councillor Brooks. Good, that brings to the
Have we
end.
voted on the 1, 2, 3, 4?
We did 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, sure.
At the beginning.
Did we? We did, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes, we did. I thought we did. Okay, thank you. Councillor Watson. Yeah.
Because unusually we had no comments.
Yes, quite.
That's because our emails were answered, which was good.
Well, that's because they got in on time. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Next item is item 9, email communication policies. Now, this is a dual 2 bits in here, so I propose that actually we look at proposal 1 initially and then at proposal 2 separately. So, talking about proposal 1, this is a document policy that outlines best practices for email use in accordance with the FOI and general data protection regulations. As data controllers, councils must ensure the confidentiality and integrity and availability of all personal data. And what it's proposing, as you hopefully all had a chance to have a look at the email policy, which I'll read the last paragraph, I believe is the most pertinent, is that councillors are required to use their official council email address for all council-related communications. This mandate ensures compliance with data protection laws, reduces data risks, etc. Using personal email accounts for council business complicates, it doesn't negate, but it complicates regulatory compliance and increases data breach risks as regular backups cannot be enforced. So hopefully you've all had a chance to look at the email policy, and I'll open up now to debate.
On page 3,
Yep.
Oakham Town Council correspondence. No individual council officer should be sole custodian of any correspondence or information in the name of Oakham Town Council. Does that include recordings?
I'm looking, no, this is emails only.
Emails only. And, oh, there was something, communications with the press?
No, that's the other way. That's
Oh,
you're looking at
wrong one.
communication policy.
The next one.
That's, sorry.
So the first one is the council email policy, which basically mandates that we use the council-given email addresses. So, have you got any more questions, Councillor Duffy, on that policy?
No, sorry, I had it in the wrong order.
Okay, yeah, okay. Councillor Brooks.
Yeah, I had a couple of points on the email policy. The section, very large section on encryption and things.
Sorry, is this, you've got the right document?
The email.
No, this is the,
Communications policy.
not the I think you're talking about the communications policy, not the council email policy. There's a difference between the two, and that's the one.
Well, we're on the communication.
No, we're on the council email policy. I don't see encryption in here.
Well, that's the problem with these policies, because they all seem to have something about email in.
Well, they
in
all
each of
overlap,
them.
isn't it?
Yeah, I'm wondering whether this should be, if I can be generalising rather than I won't speak again, to my view of all of the policies in that packet, they're not really up to date. Things like the encryption is unnecessary.
Okay, can we bring that up when we get to it?
Well, no, I just thought I could do it now as it's on the agenda item and just
It's
shut
okay
up
with you.
after that.
I'd rather
that
the appropriate.
policy and procedures looked into.
Can you bring it up at the appropriate time, please, Councillor Brooks? And then I will certainly give you your voice. It's just this, we're talking about proposal 1, which is the councillor's email policy. I think the bit you're mentioning is the communication policy.
Well, on the councillor's email policy, it says that it went for a lot of information about using your own email address, personal account, and then it just basically gets overruled by the last paragraph where it says you can't use it and have to use the council one, if I'm reading the right thing. But this has been to council before. That was added when a member of this council refused, not me, but I was on the council at the time, refused to use Oakham Town Council's email.
First of all, you're wrong. Most of this document, as I can point out to use of information, councils are provided with dedicated council email accounts. That's .gov.uk, that's paragraph 3, 4. So all the way through this, it says you should be using our .gov.uk. From my point of view, it's really important, because when I get a freedom of information request or whatever, I need to know that I can access your email account.
And that's the problem, because there's no confidentiality, Carl.
The previous council...
Can I have one person at a time? Can you please finish what you're going to say, and then Chris, you're more than happy for you to come back.
Okay.
And that is the problem. I'm not saying it happens now, but that was the problem, that the office can drop down on the thing and look whenever they want, and there is no confidentiality for your constituent, because somebody might write to a councillor about something they don't like about the council, and then somebody in the office or anybody else who has access to it can be offended. And when a person is a councillor, whatever level, we're the lowest level of government, our constituents have a right for confidentiality. I totally disagree with the use of this .gov thing. We are one of the very few councils who spend probably, is it £120 to set up each email address? It is just a waste of money. I went through all the parish councils on Rutland County Council website, and everybody, nearly everybody on that list uses Google, Outlet, BT, and then there are a few circumstances where the clerk uses it because it's linked to their website, because you would probably expect it to be formal in that way. But it's something that can't be enforced, because everybody knows that if someone puts in a GDPR or data protection thing, if they did it to me, I would be legally obliged, in fact it's a criminal offence, not to provide that information. I personally have made data protection requests from Rutland County Council many years ago, and luckily some of those councillors didn't get into trouble, but they got quite good warnings because they deleted emails because they didn't want it to be seen. So I understand the reasoning behind it, but it can't be enforced. It can't be enforced on individual members, because even at Rutland County Council until recently, they had a chairman who refused to use the internet, refused to use email, and the staff used to have to print out correspondence and hand it to him.
Okay, I think you're coming to your...
So yeah, sorry,
You've got no return now.
but my thing is just that I'm not happy that there's any guarantee for the people, when there is such easy access to it, the confidentiality of a resident writes to me.
Okay.
And then I had the thing recently where I was in communication and I communicated with the monitoring officer at the same time, and I was told just mentioning a resident's name was a breach of GDPR. So I think one of the things that come through this is we need the policy to be written correctly and updated, because I didn't know that I couldn't mention someone's name without consent in an email. And we really need to do it properly, and maybe some training on it, because we're very poor at training here.
Okay, thank you for your comment.
Yes, I've shut up now.
Town Clerk, you wanted to come back?
Yeah, let's be clear about this. It's up to the town council, not one councillor, if we adopt this policy. If we adopt this policy of all using .gov.uk, it will make my job so much easier. I understand where Councillor Brooks is coming from. However, everything he does, everything a councillor does here, you know, if we use private email accounts, I've had this happen with me at Melton Borough Council. You are in real trouble if a resident says, a resident needs to know if you're working as a councillor or whether you're working as a private individual. This makes it very clear. When you use .gov.uk with a councillor on it, you know what you're doing. There will be no confusion. And yes, residents have the right to their privacy. However, there is a big however here. Whenever you send an email as a councillor, you're accountable.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you much indeed. I just want to make one point, which I think I'm allowed to do when we come to... Oh, so sorry, Councillor Clark.
I think what's an interesting point that Councillor Brooks is making, maybe we ought to have some kind of consent statement that we let people know what we're going to be doing with information once we send it on an email. Because I think certainly the thing I work on, volunteer on, there's a consent statement that we read out to the people on the phone so they know exactly what we're going to do with the information that we're taking. And if they don't give us consent, then we don't put their names in the information.
Yeah,
that seems a very good proposal. That's something that the office can introduce.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could put that in, which is, and to be honest, I would say to all councillors here, because I've been at borough level for 25 years, whenever you get a resident on, you need to inform them straight away, am I allowed to diverse this information or not?
Yeah.
Because if you're not, then I would advise you strongly to not go any further, because you could find yourself in a private conference and then suddenly you could find yourself in court.
So this, and that would apply whether you're using a private email address or a council email address or any email address, that actually, if you don't inform the resident that you haven't got consent,
and their details.
I think, so we have a dual thing here, that we need to raise office awareness and council awareness that consent is required before you can actually use any information coming from a constituent. And I don't think that has any influence or bearing on this email policy. I think that's external to it. So, has anybody else got anything else they wish to raise at this point? In which case I'd like to proceed to a vote. And do I have a proposer that we adopt this policy? Thank you, Councillor Duthwaite. And a seconder, Councillor Tempest. And can I have a vote, please? All those in favour? Or with one against or abstention?
Yeah, against.
Harry?
Sorry, are you voting against or abstaining?
Against.
Thank you. So, one against. Do you want that recorded?
I don't mind.
You do not vote.
Okay, and I think that we also need to minute the fact, it's a very important point raised by Councillor Brooks, so that we need to ensure that we all get consent from any residents that we use the information that
I always do that. If somebody,
Sure.
even if it's something you can't help them with, you say to them, like if it's a housing thing they've come to me for, I say, do you mind if I give the details to Rutland County Council?
Or, yeah.
So you always have to get their consent.
Yeah, I
for
think it's a
anything.
very valid point, and we need to make sure that's go ahead.
Just a quick point. Would it not be quite easy to put at the bottom of an email, do we have your consent essentially to share this with the rest of the council?
Yeah.
And that goes off at the bottom of every email, so, you know, it's always there.
Yeah, good point.
You could have that as a banner
We'll put that in the banner on the bottom, that could be done automatically.
Or the signature, yeah.
You can, okay. We've had the vote, So the matter, point 1 is adopted. Now point 2, which is an update for the communication policy. The first thing I want to do is apologise for the length of the communication policy. This has been actually in use from 2021, I believe.
Yep.
And it's one of the many that was pulled out to be updated, and it has been updated. I just want to make abundantly clear that if we refer to the paper, additional sections have been added. The rest are actually as originally written. And the additional sections are listed on the paper, which communications with local town council staff, positive communication approach, etc., the 4 bullet points. And the only other change to the document was the renaming of Twitter to X following Mr. Musk's rush of blood to the head. So I'll open this debate to the floor. Does anybody want to start off? Councillor Clark? Sorry, I'm just trying to avoid going to you every single time.
I'm quite concerned about this particular policy. I'm particularly because I think we're making a rod for our own backs in items to do with the communication response times. That, you know, it says here that all material shall be acknowledged within 2 days, and then it just seems to me that we're putting a lot of pressure on the team here. Because if we don't get it replied in 2 days, justifiably somebody write back and say you haven't written to me yet. And so we're going to overwhelm them, I think, potentially with a lot of email demands. And I wonder whether we ought not to take this aside and have a discussion offline about this policy.
One of the committees, is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Can I come back to you on that? And we may ask for a proposal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was just going to comment that's quite easily negated with an auto response.
It is.
Acknowledging. But I understand your wish not to overburden the office with with timescales that might not be able to be achieved given the size of the team and the volume of emails.
At times.
Okay. Councillor Brooks, do you mind if I go to Councillor Duffy and I'll come back to you, yes?
Communications with the press and the public, are we going to have a communications officer, just so we stop random people talking randomly to the press?
Well, there's something, if we go... No, was what I was thinking. Was what I was thinking, because I'm just thinking it's hard enough to get volunteers for the committees we currently have. However, that's felt that is necessary. Maybe we need to take this to staffing or some other mechanism to actually...
I think it would be better, sorry to interrupt, it would be better if we did have somebody with the responsibility of talking to the press. Well, so it all goes through one person.
We have a communications media team, don't we? We do. It's not as effective as we would like. Can we even... Okay, let me rephrase that. It is not as not as busy, not as busy as we would like. So I think, unless there are objections, I'm going to propose that Councillor Clark makes his amendment. I haven't heard from Councillor Brooks. He's got his hand, and I apologise. Go.
Forgive me if I'm getting, because I'm in a bit of a mess with my papers, but we, at one time at the council, obviously as you pointed out, this goes back to 2021, probably even before then, we did have a situation where the clerk was appointed the press officer, but that didn't go too well. Not you, Chris, this is going back a long time. So then a councillor was appointed as press officer, and that didn't go too well, so that went by the way. But going to the question about can people ad hoc, there's no reason why any member of this council shouldn't be able to talk to the press. But what they have to be is minded that if they talk to the press, they don't say things that are not true, and they mustn't speak on behalf of the council. They can say, I was at a meeting and we did this, but they can't actually say, the council might do this and the council might do that. That's the line you've got to draw, is you can't speak on behalf of the corporate body. And that's why we needed the situation where the clerk at a meeting would be asked can you make a press release, please, to say this is what we decided? Because then it went out accurately. And I think that's your concern of accuracy.
Yeah, because I've read a number of reports that in the local press that Oakham Town Council may do this and may do that.
I think that's because they're reading agendas.
Yeah, in that case, we need a communications officer to say Oakham Town Council are going to do this.
If we've decided it.
Now, and are doing that now. No may, no wishy-washy, no possibly might, may, could do.
Okay, if I may...
Yes, I don't disagree, but I think I would support Chris's thing that this policy
I'm just going to come to that now. I think this discussion is
and
clearly demonstrating that there are some very valid
needs to be
concerns,
fully-
and therefore
I think so, yeah.
I'd like to ask Councillor Clark to propose his amendment, and then we'll see whether we have the support, and then we'll take a vote.
Yeah, simply proposing that we defer decisions on this policy until we've had a chance to have a further look at it.
Who do we think that we should send it to? I think it's important.
Well, I will leave that to you to decide on.
I think it's got to go before two committees. I think we've actually got the staffing committee, because certainly the response times, etc., is very valid.
Team here, yeah.
And I think also it's a possibility that we could throw it at the media committee.
I didn't even know we had a media committee.
Do try to keep up.
When did you have that?
I think we'll keep quiet about it.
Okay, so can I have a vote that we
We
actually...
need a second, I think.
Sorry, are you proposing that we actually go to the staffing and media?
Yeah.
Okay, so can I have a second, please?
Second that.
Seconded. And can I have a vote, please? Good. Thank you all. That was
Hopefully Chris will sort it out.
useful, I think. Happy with that, Chris?
Yep, that's fine. On again.
Ever onward and upward.
Not quite halfway.
Getting there though. Beacon lighting. This is a report from Councillor Sally-Ann Wadsworth. Would you like to speak on behalf of this report, please?
Got to say no.
In which case we'll just throw it in the bin and go on.
The answer is yes. What was
Yes, there is no question.
What was the again? Yeah.
Okay, this year is the 80th anniversary of VE Day. Central government, whatever it is down there, have been encouraging towns, cities, etc. to light a beacon or lamps of peace on the 8th of May at 9:30. Being a military county, I feel that we should get involved in this. So basically, I'd like to propose, if there isn't anybody against it, to hold the lighting of the beacon in Cuts Close on the 8th of May 2025 at 9:30, and for the office to invite Lord Lieutenant Dr. Sarah Finesse and the High Sheriff, which I have been told we will have a new one by then, Richard Chesterfield, to help with the lighting of the beacon.
Councillor Clark.
May I just ask, will there be anything else taking place in Cuts Close that?
No.
Is it just be
Yes.
it be solely the lighting of the beacon?
Yes.
But there are a number of events going on in and around.
The town on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Veterans Breakfast are doing something, and I know some other veterans organisations are doing
Oh,
something.
okay.
So the fact that it may look a bit weird that the town council is just going to light a beacon, there are not private events, there are other people are organising other events.
Okay.
Splendid, that's
Thank you,
excellent.
thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Brooks.
No offence to Sally-Ann Wadsworth,
Councillor
but Mayor Wadsworth, I'm somewhat disappointed that we are only lighting the beacon, because when I was toying with the idea of being co-opted onto this council, I was told, oh, that's wonderful, because we'll be doing VE Day celebrations, and I quite like these events that we've done in the past, which, not even being a military person, but it is nice to see the community there, and we've had a number over the years, so I am disappointed that it is just a beacon event in the evening. And again, no disrespect to Councillor Wadsworth, we have the smallest beacon in the world. It's just, to me, it's a tiny thing, and it's disappointing when it's a big national celebration. I know the Breakfast Club thing, but I'm not military background and I wouldn't go.
Okay.
So, and I read the website and was quite excited about it because it was saying street parties, flag raising in the morning.
We got the point. Thank you very much, Councillor Brooks. Councillor Nix.
Do you have a suggestion to make it better, Martin?
Well, we're not even having Father's Day event this year.
Do you have a
Yes,
suggestion?
I would have liked a band or something.
What did you raise a paper to that effect?
Well, no, I wasn't. I was told that we were going to have this
debate. On the back of this debate, you could perhaps raise a paper.
I think it's a bit short.
Okay.
Time.
Point made. Thank you very much indeed. And
Councillor Brooks raised that it was a national event. Well, the national event is going to be held down in London.
No, it's a countrywide event.
Yeah.
There's a website.
Yeah, with the main doodahs going on in London, in the capital city.
Yes.
Not in sleepy little county towns that
Okay.
nobody's heard of.
But every county town, and a lot of our county councillors will be going to events, marches and things in Leicester.
Yeah, Leicester.
okay, can I, if I may intervene at this point?
But we've always, what I'm trying to say is we've always
Yeah.
done it, but this year we're not.
Can I intervene at this point? We need to
Sorry.
not
Sorry,
debate
Chairman.
between each other, but actually it's a debate for the chamber, and the points have been made. And
I just want to...
have you made your point,
Yes,
Councillor? Thank you very much, and Councillor Wadsworth.
Right. The reason why we are only having a beacon lighting on the 8th of May is because the Lord Lieutenant has requested that we have the celebrations on the 29th of June, which is the same day as the... Oh God, my brain's gone dead.
Can I just say the Armed Forces Day, which is...
And she wants to do it all as one celebration because
Okay, so
that's why there's only the beacon lighting happening that day.
okay, I would like to first of all, I think I'd like to encourage Councillor Brooks, who has such deep feelings, to raise a paper to actually outline exactly what he means, and we'll debate that at the next meeting. And I think I accept what's being said, and I think we should move to the vote. So can I have a proposer, please?
Have you already got
I
one?
propose.
Oh, I have got a proposer. And
I'll second.
we've got a second, so let's have the vote whether we accept this paper or not. Thank you very much indeed. A heated debate, I love it.
I don't.
Right, moving on to flag flying, which I'm sure will be equally as much fun.
Oh yes.
Yes.
So, Councillor Brooks, do you want to introduce this or shall I?
Well, I've put the proposal before people. I don't actually want to say too much about the reason why I bought the paper. It's apart from the fact that I was disappointed in some of the abuse and comments that I personally received by the council flying the flag for LGBT History Month. If there are any differences from my proposal, my proposal this evening is to make a policy that is simple but can be amended. So it's not me saying this is what I want you to do. Councillor Ainsley actually helped me a lot on this because he found it, I couldn't find it again, the government guidance on local authority flag flying. So it's based on a lot of that with a few little tweaks. But it's open to amendments. For instance, there's no clear policy of when a past mayor passes. So we have this situation where a member of the public will phone the office and say, Councillor so-and-so from 10 years ago, 20 years ago has passed. Can you put the flag at half-mast? Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Or we get the situation where nobody wants to do it. So I felt I left that out because I have sat in here and everybody in the room has said, who was that? So it's no disrespect to those people. Yeah, but we don't know all those names going back to many, many years.
Okay.
So
We've
somebody
got
was
your point,
pointing
thank you
to
very
me.
much.
So it's there as to try and regulise and have a policy which we didn't really have. We had a list which was agreed many years ago, but not always stuck to, and has caused issues by the fact we fly one flag but not another. So this was just basically to say, well, if we only fly the town council and the Union Jack, then it doesn't cause controversy.
Yeah, I'm not one for avoiding controversy, but I do feel, if I just have a quick statement, then I will certainly throw it over to the floor, because I also was also the drafter of this policy. What we've done here is I've simply taken the government guidelines for when the Union Jack or other flags should be flown on government buildings, and I'm taking cuts closer as a government building for the moment. So the proposal is that we fly Oakham Town Council flag, which, by the way, we don't have. We just had to order 2 new ones because the last one was destroyed. So, and it's going to be, it's lovely fetching blue with the Oakham Town Council crest on. So the idea is quite simply that we have an open policy that we can agree initially of what we're going to fly other than the Oakham Town Council flag and when. And if somebody, for example, the rainbow flag is something I know that's a hot topic. If we have a finalised date of when it's appropriate to fly it, then that should be brought to council. It can be brought to council now, and then it's agreed, and then it's in the policy. So the idea is to actually put a stake in the ground to simply say, these are the flags that we currently want to fly and when, and then we bring to council, and that could be today, the alternative flags we want to fly on alternative days. It actually just puts a stake in the ground to allow us to get control. At the moment, I think we have and I'm sorry to say this, but it's a scrappy little piece of paper that seems to fly around, and we don't really know when flags have been changed or why they're being changed and everything else. So it's just trying to put a stake in the ground. So with that in mind, I'd like to pass it over to the floor. So Councillor Duff, you had your hand raised.
On the 23rd of April, I'd like to see England's flag fly, not the Union Jack. England.
I've just worked with the government policy, so...
So no, I think that one, because we're a county in England, it's St George's Day, we need to fly the flag of England.
Yeah, that's. I agreed with that afterwards, but I wanted to leave it open for people to add.
Is that a proposal?
Yes, please.
Well, okay, let's gather those, shall we? Because I suspect there'll be others. So the England flag is one amendment. And we've got Councillor Clark.
I was wondering whether, bear in mind the fact that as well as the military in Rutland, the Royal Air Force were heavily here, based here. Wonder whether we ought to fly a flag on Battle Vision Day in September.
Why not? Do we know the date?
I think it's about the 15th or the 17th.
We can find that out in the amendment. Yes, okay.
That was one of the conflicts, that we do Merchant Navy Day, we don't do an Army Day, but so it was. We need to look at all the services, the important services thing, and that's where I felt that I didn't put it in here, but I was hoping someone would bring it up. Just a nudge is that there is a flag for Armed Forces Day, and the town council has.
We do have an Armed Forces Day on the 28th of June. If the council votes now to support the England flag on the St George's Day, to fly the Battle of Britain Day flag on the
Royal Air
Force. Royal Air Force, I'm sorry, yes, thank you. Royal Air Force flag on the appropriate day of celebration, and the Army flag on the appropriate day of celebration. I think that's something that we can research and actually make the amendment now.
And then we have the Navy.
We've done the Navy,
which is different from the Merchant Navy.
That's different from the Merchant Navy. Well, that's what the council wants to do.
But I think we mustn't leave any out. If we are going to go for forces flags, we do them all.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't mind a big list as long as we're actually controlling what we're doing and not going through scrubby bits of paper.
Just check. We've got the St George's flag for instead to be the England flag. We've got the RAF flag on Battle of Britain Day.
Or
Is there anything else?
Well, you've got. I don't. There's Armed Forces Day, isn't there?
Which we've got, which is
and there's the flag. Yeah.
Yeah,
we've got a flag, but we haven't. If we're going to mention the RAF, should we? Because there are, after all, quite a few army barracks.
Army barracks here now. Yeah.
So should we looking? I don't know. Will we have an army day?
I'll look into it. Yeah.
And
we can. If we can vote, and then if there's an appropriate day,
can I add Rutland Day in September?
Well, I was going to.
Rutland Day.
Okay, are we capturing this?
Yes.
Rutland Day is officially September, but there is a thing about the 1st of April, Rutland, isn't there? When it was.
That's the formation of the RAF, so April 1st would be good for the RAF.
So we won't have it on that day.
Hold on.
Rutland was formed on April the 1st.
It's whatever day, I think we'll
It's in
look at
September,
what days
isn't
they celebrate and we'll certainly find an
Yeah.
appropriate day. RAF, Navy, Army, St George's flag, and what was the other amendment to the
Rutland
policy?
Day.
Rutland Day.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that
September.
needs to be put into this policy or required to vote on it with those amendments?
Could I just come back to the point about, I always remember when we did the neighbourhood plan, we did a thing at the school in Burley Road, at the children's school, and there was an interesting description of some of the areas around Oakham. But you mentioned the point earlier on about the passing of Alf Jewis.
Yes, right at the beginning, yes.
Is there a case for acknowledging particularly the passing of mayors of Oakham?
Yes.
I wasn't thinking necessarily of councillors, but mayors have been, they're significant members of the community. I just wonder whether we ought to acknowledge that.
Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll take that on board. Shall we do a quick poll or a quick vote on whether we want to amend the policy to include mayors of Oakham in the flying at half-mast policy?
Yes.
Well, we can vote.
The issue is on there is that we don't always get the
Yeah,
information.
but where we know.
Well, where we know.
We're having a vote on this, so let's just first of all, can I have a proposal, which I guess is yourself? Do you want a seconder for that motion? Councillor Nix, and let's have a vote on whether we're going to accept past mayors to be included where possible, and the flag flown at half-mast on the day of notification or funeral. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Would we
Okay.
be able to keep it in with the same policy of the 7 days maximum
Yeah, I
and
can't-
on the day of the funeral? So it doesn't, because I believe somebody was upset that the one for Mr. Lewis went up and down very quickly. Did I say that wrong? Sorry.
No, you're probably right.
It did. It went up Monday and it was gone by
We
Tuesday.
just simply stated the maximum period, we haven't stated the minimum period, so I think, it, up and down on the same day, on the day of notification seems to me to be an appropriate thing, but if it's done in due haste, i.e. up at 8, down at 8:15.
I'd rather,
Or down at 8:58, yeah.
I think my intention was that saying the maximum period is 7 days,
Yeah.
and maybe it might be slightly amended, that it should be for 7 days.
I don't think that, I couldn't support that, but I could support a full day for the full
Yeah.
24-hour period or something like
I
that.
was kind of reminded that Victorians had a period of mourning, didn't they?
Yes.
In Victoria, it was
But the
forever.
problem is there, I was asked about the flag, because many people didn't even know what the Commonwealth flag was. And by the time I'd found out why the flag was half-mast, it was obviously gone. It was.
So we've got the passing through, and now we've got to vote on the St George's RAF flag and Rutland Day flag.
Yeah, so shall I just make sure we've got the same thing? I've got RAF, Navy, Army days, St George's flag for the 23rd of April, and the Rutland flag on the Rutland Day.
Yeah.
And then amend paragraph 5 to include the fact that the past mayors will, so the last sentence, and serving members of Rutland Council, this is paragraph A, up, and past mayors, that sentence in. The flag should remain at half-mast for a maximum period of 7 days, and for a minimum period of 1 or 24 hours. I think that's appropriate.
Wouldn't it be better to say that it was on the day of their funeral rather than just putting it up on a Monday? And
Depends when they die, doesn't it?
Yes, I think so. And also, it could be delayed weeks and weeks and weeks, couldn't it? If there's any kind
Yes,
of
and that would be the
circumstances.
trouble,
So I think as soon as we're notified, we
Yeah.
can do the flag.
I think, yes.
Yeah, I think that's fine, personally. So shall we, Councillor Brooks, did you want to add something in there to that effect?
I thought you just did it, because it's both our paper.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, so I did. So if we're happy then, with those
You can
proposals...
accept the amendments, so it's fine.
Pardon?
You can accept the amendments.
Yes, we accept the amendments to the paper, and then we'll have a proposer, which we've done, I think, no. Our proposer, Councillor Clark was second,
I will.
and then we will have a vote on the amended flag flying policy as discussed at considerable length. Thank you, so that's passed, and we'll get those amendments and obviously pushed back to council, so we can all see it. So we know we're not doing anything that we shouldn't be doing. Flag flying,
Can I just say
please, before it just caught me in time, but close it.
Talking about flags, one of the things that's been brought up on the place make, whatever it's called, thing,
Yeah, the placement thing.
is about cuts close to having the green flag. So if you have the green flag, that is going to have to be flown all the time.
Yeah, but that we can. We'll have to discuss when that comes through whether that's part of this policy. I don't think it would be. But
Okay.
that, yeah.
We can come back to that.
We're
but I
not
just
gonna
want
have
to
Well,
make it
it's
clear.
appropriate. Yes, you're quite
We
right.
haven't got a green flag.
No, we haven't at the moment, but we're
No.
looking to look when this is placed made.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Moving on, if I may, the open flag display contract. This is the town clerk. Thank you to be quiet.
Okay.
That's nice.
This is the final year of the 3-year contract, but every year we bring it back just so that councillors can see. It's slightly over budget, as you can see, by £300. Basically, we're going to the same agenda, in inverted commas, as we had last year. So the files will be in the same place as they were before last year. So if the council's happy with what we had last year and is happy with it to be slightly over budget, then that's the proposal in front of you.
Okay, I'll propose it then.
Brilliant.
I'll have a vote then. You've got captured?
Yeah.
Who?
Me,
And me.
councillor Southway,
And what it-
all those in favour?
Councillor Brooks, are you in favour or not? Or are you not voting or?
I don't like abstaining, so I will vote against.
Okay, thank you. So that's all but one. Do you want it recorded, Councillor Brooks?
No.
Thank you. Moving on, getting a lick on now, which is great. Moving on to agenda item 13, which is the allotments lease. Historically, the allotments lease has been for 7-year periods, and historically, as you can see by those immense calculations that I put on the paper, we have a cumulative RPR increase over the 7-year period. So in the case of Oakham smallholders, it's nice and simple. They're originally paying £92. If you multiply that by the adjustment over the 7-year period, it comes out to £135. The Oakham Home and Garden Allotment Society is slightly different. We are going to bring them in line because they're all going to be sharing the same lease. But there were negotiations a little while ago, which unfortunately was not documented terribly well. And so I've met everybody and they have agreed that I'll continue to pay their existing rent. And that in future they will fall in line with the 7-year cumulative increase. And that's all in the lease. Hopefully you can have a look at the lease. So the two proposals I would recommend that the annual rent for the next 7-year period for Oakham smallholders is set at 135. You should have the maps with you. I did circulate the maps for those that requested it, of what they hold, what they'll be using, and the annual rent for Smallholders Association is set at 570. So we take proposal. Do you want to raise a question on both proposals?
I think
Okay, questions. So where shall I start? Let's start with Councillor Wadsworth.
Right, my question is, why don't we run our own allotments? Uppingham do, they charge £30 per plot and the money goes straight into their council to spend on improvements, whereas at the moment we're getting a small amount of rent from these two associations and also paying for any repairs that we're doing. You're shaking your head at me as if I'm
No, I'm just looking, where did you get that from, that we're paying for any repairs that you're doing?
Because I know we have in previous
No, but my
years.
question is, in the new lease, section 6 is hedges, fences and gated goods sufficient repair. What's on the land is entirely up to them, and they collect the rent therefrom. I'm not aware that we pay for anything, that includes rent allowances, etc., rates,
Okay, well, in previous years we have
Well,
done
hence the
tree
new lease.
remedials and
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay, they may come to us for grant, that's entirely their prerogative, but I'm not aware that we're paying for anything. According to the lease, unless you can see a hole in this that says we are.
No, okay. But I still think that it should be looked into.
Can I come back to you on that one, if I may?
You can do it.
Thank you. I went down to a meeting on the Sunday, my Sunday, at Kilburn Road to actually walk around the allotments because they were keen to show me just what they were doing and how good they were doing it. And I honestly believe that we're not the best people to be managing allotments. But if you wish to make that a proposal, then we can vote on that separately.
Question?
Okay.
Why
I honestly don't
would you
believe,
do it?
this is my personal perspective, following my meeting at Kilburn Road. Okay, sorry. If you wish to make an amendment, let me know. Councillor Dathwaite.
I might be about to ask a very silly question. Are these for the organisation of 135 per month, or is that per person with a,
No, that's
No.
that's rental per annum.
just for
So
the
they pay
association?
£135 once a year,
Once a year.
but collect £30 from every single member.
Well, in that case, we're being very generous.
There.
And the
Well, the-
Smallholders Association, are they allotments as well?
They're both allotments,
Most of
yes.
these are allotments.
Right.
Well, I think we're taking the view. No, I don't want to get into that debate. So I just think it's entirely. I take your point. It's a very small amount, but I do see these as community assets.
Yeah, I totally agree. But
So,
if
I-
they're collecting £30 per allotment,
I don't think they are.
so I,
It would be per year, that money would be.
It's per
Yeah.
year, remember. So 50 times.
yeah,
It is not as much. They're not making vast fortunes on this. It's actually quite.
okay.
It's per annum that they. If they were charging £30, but they do
And
charge
they
significantly
do
less in
have-
some plots.
They do have to, I used to have an allotment down the Kilburn Road, and they do actually have to provide services for all the allotment
They
holders.
do. There's a bit more to it than just saying here's a bit of land, go and
Yeah.
gather like.
Go and plant some bushes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Brooks.
Yes.
How nice to hear from you. It's been about 10 minutes now, I think.
Yes. I have a similar concern about this, and I think it is a great opportunity to the council to look at this and possibly take it back in-house after many, many years, because I'm of the view that these associations over the years, I've sat on this council where they've come to us and we have spent thousands and thousands of pounds on it, and it's a very exclusive thing to have an allotment these days. It's not a wider community thing. Anyway, I won't go on too much about that. The people, when you talk about services and that, they pay a membership fee as well, which covers the administration of those services on top of their annual fee. Now, one of the associations says they only manage this amount of allotments. Now, I walk past the allotment because one of them is up near where I live, and I can tell you that that figure fits in about, quite a big space. And they have never been transparent to the council. Never been transparent to me. In fact, when I mentioned the money recently on the social media that they received from Brook Road disbandment, I got insults and had to block people from the allotment association.
Quickly come back to Brook Road.
But anyway, don't worry about Brook Road. That's done. They took their money. They won't tell us how much they got, and
Nothing to do with us.
but I would. Well, in a way, it does have things to do with us because we're only
Okay.
charging them a very small amount of money, and this is the thing. These are public assets. We have the same situation with all of our assets, apart from Princess Avenue, where they now pay a market rent.
Chair,
Finally.
could I just highlight something here, because I have a lot of experience of allotments in the Vale of Beaver and Uppingham do too, and other councils. There is a significant administration cost.
We could have a committee.
If we take it back to the
Okay.
town council.
Yes,
Thank you very much
I
for that
think
comment.
you could still have a.
Councillor Brooks, I think you said.
No, I've got a bit more here. There is a mistake in your proposals.
Oh.
And the other thing in the leases, no disrespect to the military, but why, if you live in Oakham for, 20 years and have your name on a list, should somebody from the military take priority on that waiting
It
list?
doesn't say priority, it says receive special consideration. That means that if somebody.
To me, that says priority.
Well, it doesn't say that. I'm sorry, it doesn't say that. Thank you very much for your comments.
But could we not have that deleted? Because that's open
Thank you
to
very
all
much for your
sorts of
comments. If you want to
interpretations.
make a proposal that para 9 is deleted, do you want to propose that?
Yeah, because it's no disrespect
It's
to
nothing
the
against
military, but
You
it's
want-
very open-ended, because I've interpreted it one way and you're telling me that
Additionally,
it's not.
veterans will receive special consideration. This has been agreed. I mean, I did have meetings with all of them and they've agreed that this is fine, as did 9 and 10 were agreed. So what I'd like to do here is, are you proposing an amendment that we go back to them and we delete para 9? Is that what you're suggesting? Or at least veterans element of para 9. Is that what you're proposing?
I would like to, because it's very open-ended.
Well,
I've
sorry, it's not like
interpreted
yes
it,
or no.
and I know other people have interpreted it as possible priority favouritism. But if it's not that, it needs to be reworded in a very clear and concise way.
Okay, Councillor Brooks, are you proposing an amendment to that we actually rework paragraph 9, because we'll have to go back to OGAS, OHGAS and the other people, OSA, to actually get, because this is a lease that they have verbally agreed to and waiting for us to say yes, we're going with it. So if you're proposing an amendment, that is absolutely fine.
Has the solicitor gone over these leases?
No, we haven't done that. This is a lease that was existing, and all that's been done is we've amended the figures and we've amended 9 and 10. So if you're proposing an amendment to 9, I'm happy with that, and we'll take a vote.
Your choice, but it has to be now.
Well, I think I'd like to give the opportunity. The amendment is 2 parts, and the amendment is that Oakham Town Council take control of the allotments.
Okay, let's vote on that first. I think otherwise it's tremendously complicated.
Okay.
So let's do that.
So it gives
Can
the
I have,
option
we have a
for
proposer that Oakham Town Council takes control of the allotments. Can I have a seconder for that proposal, please?
I want to second it, but I think it needs to be looked into rather than just diving in.
Okay, in which case there is, I'm afraid the motion falls.
No, that's fine. That's right.
Okay,
I gave
so
the opportunity.
the second proposal that you were pushing forward was.
Is to remove point number 9 from the lease.
No, you can't remove, well, so all of it with the prioritised allotment holders who have been displaced from other allotments. Are you talking about the whole of it? Or
No, just the military part.
The additional slating.
Additional veterans. Okay, can we have a proposer for that then? That's your good self, yeah?
Yes.
And can I have a seconder that we remove the additional veterans who receive special consideration during the allocation progress of para 9? Do we have a seconder?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Councillor Wadsworth. So can we have a vote on that then, please? All those in favour?
2. Against?
And against? 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have 1 abstention.
I'm on a proverbial allotment fence.
Oh, very good.
Okay, so I'm afraid the motion falls.
No, that's fine. That's it. That's
Good. So we have a.
Now we have a substantive motion,
So the substantive motion is that we,
as is.
as is written 1 and 2.
but not as written, because you've duplicated the 2 names.
Which two?
The names, the smallholders.
Oh, how the hell did that? Well, okay, it should say that the. Oh my goodness me! Thank you so much. OSA is the first one, Oakham Smallholder Association, and number 2 is Oakham Home Garden Allotment Society, OHGAS. So with that amendment, can we have a proposer and seconder for that proposal, please? Proposed, seconded, and if we could then have a vote on whether we accept, with a small amendment number 2, the name is correct. Thank you very much. So,
Have you voted?
no, we haven't voted yet, so all those in favour?
Carried.
And against or abstentions? You're abstaining?
No, I'm against.
You're against.
But can I
Do
just?
you want that recorded?
No, it's fine. But
Councillor
can I
Wadsworth,
just?
do you want that recorded?
Can I thank the chairman and the clerk for actually letting us see the leases, because historically we've agreed things and not actually ever seen them.
That's because we're open, honest and transparent.
Yes.
Okay, thank you
for
for
the
it.
record. I could not find the lease.
Okay, moving on, before we dig ourselves a hole. So the next item is item 14, Oakham in Blue. As said in my initial introduction, we had three meetings and discussions with Oakham in Blue. They are bringing forward to council, and this is basically to do with UK SPF, that we enhance the planters. There's one done gratis and for free on Jail Street, and there's a pretty picture in the paper.
There.
It's in the picture there.
That's the picture. Is that the picture?
Yes, one planter on Jail Street has already been enhanced for councillors to view and discuss.
It's on Jail Street.
So the proposal is that the council authorises Oakham in Blue to proceed with the enhancement of 6 identified planters at a cost of £16.52, excluding VAT, funding to come from the UK SPF. I have included the brochure and the amber roll quotation which we received. So, discuss. Opening the floor, Councillor Wadsworth.
I don't like the grey and the grey or whatever that colour is.
Grey and black, yeah. So are
I'd
you,
rather have this woody. wooded one on this description.
On the pretty picture.
On this pretty picture here.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'll tell you what. Do you mind if I give you my thoughts on this? 'Cause I wasn't-
Three shades, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we're going to have to be done is match up with the bins, aren't we? And in the fullness of time, to actually get a coherent strategy across the town. They are not responsible for the bins, but by the same token, I've written to the chairman and said, have you thought about alternative colours? So we can certainly go back and say, yes, please, we want this.
The bins as well. Well, that's what we are doing, yes. Oh, you mean the black bins?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Well, that doesn't enhance the black bins, does it?
No, but what I'm saying is if we go for the wooden effect, what I'm trying to say is that in an ideal world on a perfect day, we choose a colour scheme for the enhancement that actually will coordinate with a future choice of bins. So if we can't get bins in sky blue pink, if that's what we decide we want to
No,
recommend
I
as
just
a
want the
colour.
wooded ones like that rather than those ones that were plastic.
Okay. Fine.
Just my opinion.
No, it's a good opinion. Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think it appears to be good value for money, but I did go down there, but I couldn't find the bin. Maybe I went down too early.
When did you go
I couldn't find it. When I told you I couldn't find it. When these papers came out, I went
It
down.
was definitely done on when I was drafting this paper because otherwise I couldn't have got the photo.
Well, I don't know where it is. I must have missed it because I went there in
Okay.
both ends. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But I agree with the colour issue. To me, that says cheap plastic discount shop bins. I have a big new bin which is made by Addis for my oleo thing where people pick up things, and it's grey and it looks horrible because that's all I could afford, and that's what that reminds me of. It just looks horrible. Wood effect on there. I quite like the dark wood, so we'll probably never agree on the colours. But wood is generally seen as quite neutral. So if you had a new black bin, it would probably go with either of those wooden.
So, do we have a proposal for an amendment to the proposal on the table that says you can only proceed if you go with the colour that we stipulate?
Well, if we're paying for it, I think that's probably right.
Yeah, but we need a colour.
And that is that wood effect shown in the planter.
But which one? There's two, isn't there?
Well, that one that I'm pointing at now.
Oh, you like the light wood effect.
I like light wood.
I like the dark wood effect.
Well,
but then
that's like
I've heard Oakham and Bloom don't like that.
Correct.
So
I think
I'll
what
go
I'd
with
like
the
to do, I think I've just had a recommendation from Councillor Nixon. I think it's a heartily good recommendation. Why don't we go with...
There's a
We sup-
compromise. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no.
There's dark wood and black.
See, I like the dark wood and black, so I think I'll go with black bins, but there we go.
So
Okay, we'll go that way then.
You've still got the wood,
Yeah, I want me, yeah.
yeah. You've then got the dark one. It's a compromise.
I'm confused. As long as we don't have that grey, I don't care.
Are you looking at that picture there?
This little one down here. in the bottom
Okay,
corner.
so what are we,
Going
the
to
question, yeah, I understand, got it.
Sorry, I'm just showing you. This is the one that's being suggested as I see it.
What's the dark wood with black bins?
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's the one that...
Yeah, that's the one I like, but that's the one I understand Oakham and Bloom don't like. But it's
Really?
part of
I
the-
thought you were talking about that one.
no, that one there.
Right.
That one. So we seem to agree with.
Like that one.
Okay, what I'd like to do is I'd like to split this vote into two.
That one.
Number one, that we are happy to proceed with the dark wood with the black posts,
But not the black one.
but not the grey. And is that going to be the condition of
Yes.
the grant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the condition
When we're looking at the picture, which one are we talking about?
This one is the bottom.
Bottom right
Hand corner. Okay, that's
So
That's
it's
the
not
one that
black,
Oakham and
black,
Bloom don't
dark,
like,
sort
but we like.
in between.
Dark wood with black posts.
I
Oh,
would say brown.
can we have a,
Brown.
in the interest of brevity,
Yes.
Two.
can we have a proposal that we go with the dark wood and the black posts as pictured in the bottom right-hand corner of the brochure?
Yes.
Proposer, Councillor Nick, seconder, Councillor Dathwaite, and could I have a vote on that then, please? So, on condition that they go with the dark wood with the black posts, they can have the grant. Is that how we...
Yes.
Good. Gosh,
This could be fun.
this could be fun.
Is that not-
So we will engage with Oakham and Bloom. In fact, I was asked to text as soon as we left the meeting what the vote was, so let them know.
That's coming out of
UKSBF, assuming
Yes.
that Oakham and Bloom don't together.
What happens if they go and order the colour we don't want? We don't
That's the
pay.
point, we don't pay. Exactly. If that's a condition of the grant, then that's fine.
Yeah, okay, as long as they know that.
They will.
Do you want to hold that conversation with them?
No, thank you. No, actually, the new chairman ladies are very nice. I've met them working
She looks
very
really
hard.
nice, I
Yes.
like her.
Next.
Next.
And I'm just ticking the picture if you don't mind. So I know which one it is to make sure. Right, the next one is,
You
ooh,
should be taking the right one.
I hope so. I've lost the agenda.
It's the war
It's a
memorial.
grant.
Oh, it's the grant come from Adam Lowe, reference the,
Oh dear.
Since I represent the council on the Memorial Institute, can I vote?
Sorry.
no, you have a vested interest. You can enliven the debate.
I think, can I just interject, when I was on things before, because Mr Clark doesn't financially benefit from it, he can vote.
You have no pecuniary interest.
He doesn't
No
personally,
pecuniary interest.
it's not going in his pocket in a brown envelope, so
He
he
has
can
an interest,
vote.
okay.
Right, not
I'll take
right.
advice, I'll take advice.
It's
Can he
a
or can't he?
non-peculiar interest, therefore it's up to the councillor if he wishes to participate and vote.
All right, thank you.
And you have declared your interest, so I think you're,
You could just
Extremely
record it
subcovered.
in the book that you voted on something that you remember.
Okay.
If somebody.
shall we get to the paper in hand? Can I have a discussion on agenda item 15, reference the Oakham Memorial Institute cleaning?
Where's the money coming from?
A grant.
Our grant budget of £3,000,
I
yes.
was just trying to find out how much.
No, that's
how
where
much
it's,
it is.
that's why we have a grant application for.
Where? Oh, no.
No, it's not,
Grant.
sorry, councillor Kellyanne, it's not going to be from this year, obviously,
Is
it's
that-
way too late for this year for it to happen. So it's going to be in
Yeah,
next
but
year's.
we've still got this, oh, here, grants,
Yeah,
Grant application form,
5,000.
3.
that's three that next
Three this
year.
year, is it?
This is for year 25-26.
And that's my issue, that
Okay.
Victoria Halls takes it over the budget.
So the,
Right.
If we-
just to clarify those points, and it's the grant budget is 3k, am I correct?
Yes.
So we'll be taking £2,200 from that grant
And
budget
20,
at the beginning of the year.
2,220.
I've got 2,200
I've
here.
got 2,200
I haven't got
I've got 2 to 20 here.
Okay, well, let's clarify, how much is it they're asking for?
I've got that.
Looking on the form.
That's what I got.
Oh, sorry, I've got on the actual.
On the form, yeah, so somebody hasn't transferred the
Yeah,
correction.
222, is it?
Yeah,
Okay, so
A typo.
2220. Discussion. Anybody want to speak on this? Councillor Bell?
Yeah, what's
We've got the accounts for year ending 31st of March 2024, so these
Yeah.
figures are a year out of date.
Yes.
But they're saying they're holding £93,800. Why do they want 2,000 from us?
All I can say, Chairman, at this point in time is, the reason we have the accounts here is to accept to the councillors to decide, given the sums they see in the accounts and the request. We get grant requests from all kinds of charities, including, all kinds of charity commissions can come forward. And some of them, citizens that vote for this council might spend some money there, but pay for citizens of the person.
Right.
So you have to make a decision on whether this funding, given their accounts and given their status, is acceptable for us to do grant. I have a step for you to bring this to you. It's
Okay.
now up to you.
Any other points? So we just, can I hold off on you, Councillor Brooks, until such time as we see if anybody else wants to speak? Do you mind? I will get to you.
I didn't get the full point of interest, or whatever you call it. I didn't actually get provided with any account information. And I mentioned that to Chris earlier, why would they not ask?
May I not print it out, I'm sorry if that's not
I don't think it's relevant that people are asked, but it's our
If they've got
policy.
90,000, it's relevant, isn't it?
In some people's opinion, it is.
Okay, apologies for that, Councillor Brooks. It should have been there. Any other comments?
Yes.
I'm holding off on you for a little while. See if I can get somebody else.
No, nobody else.
Nobody else? Councillor
Okay,
Brooks.
10
what are
years.
your-
10 years ago, and I shared the picture today on social media, Oakham Town Council were requested, it was an anniversary for some reason, I can't remember everything, and 10 years ago the Town Council cleaned the memorial out of its own money. It was covered in moss. Unfortunately at that time not too much care was taken, because you can compare the pictures of then and now. It was jet blasted, literally, and some of the wording looks like it's faded. That's because somebody was very whatever in some of the detail.
Enthusiastic.
Yes, so it's nice to see that they want to do it, but I don't like the idea that it's coming to us as a grant application, because that's going to take a big chunk out of what I thought our grants were, for small grants for community groups. I don't have an objection to the Town Council cleaning it. I feel that it falls in the remit of the churchyard maintenance, and that we should be doing it anyway. And that's the way it was seen the last time it came to council. They just paid for it at the request for it to be done. So I don't actually think that it needs, and personally I don't actually think it needs cleaning, but if they feel that it needs cleaning, so I'm going to do it, then I'm not going to object.
Thank you for your contribution. Before we come to actually look at alternative proposals, does anybody else wish to speak? So I'd like to say something.
Yeah.
I think this is an inordinate amount of money. I have no idea whether it applies to any other institution. If they're solvent, I'd like to suggest that we compromise on their grant request and, let's say, contribute £1,000 to the cleaning.
One last point
Because I don't want to
before
spend
I
all
would
the
like
budget
to
in one hit.
make a proposal, if I could, an amendment. But one last point that I think I put in an email is that the Oakham Memorial, sorry if I get the name wrong, Institute, was set up they do a wonderful job helping buying people school books and things, but it was the surplus money from the War Memorial, and it was public subscription, and that was the purpose of the money originally. But obviously you've put a war memorial up 100 odd years ago now, and it doesn't need a lot of maintenance. And that's why somebody picked up, and I think, yes, they probably should be paying for it themselves, but I still feel that it falls within the remit of the churchyard maintenance. So I would propose...
So what is your proposal?
Well, my proposal is that if it needs cleaning, and I'm not an expert, I look at it on a daily basis, and I looked at it when this paper came up, and then I compared the pictures of what it was over the last 10 years, and I personally don't think it needs cleaning. But that's...
What is your proposal, Martin?
Well, my proposal is if it needs cleaning...
So are you rejecting this grant?
Yeah, I would reject the funding of it from the grant budget.
And take it
from general maintenance or reserves.
I don't think we have.
Because we have a maintenance for the churchyard. We have a budget, don't we,
We have
for
a
general
budget.
maintenance for the parks and the churchyard, because we have to pay for it.
How much do we have in the budget? Do we know?
I don't know.
We don't have, well, there is no budget. This will be next financial year, obviously.
Well, the church wall is something that we're going to have to do. And what budget's that going to be taken?
The
Reserves,
councillors
isn't it?
need to be aware, about to probably, I will bring forward a paper very shortly on the church wall. That's going to be 17k plus for the church. And that needs doing next financial year.
And we don't have a budget for that coming from reserves, am I correct in saying that?
We don't have a budget for it at the moment, so that makes me very nervous, but it's something that, needs to be done sooner or later.
Okay.
Sooner is the word I have to use.
So what's your proposal, Councillor Brooks, given that you now know the state of the budget?
Well, but I think the I think the amendment has to take into consideration that other people might feel that it needs cleaning. So how do I word that? I'm asking your help. Cause
Well, I'd like to come up with an alternative.
and that if it's needed cleaning, then we clean it and pay for it.
That's what I think.
But we don't give a grant to an outside organisation who, by the timeline, don't seem to have any responsibility for it. Because when this council adopted the churchyard, I believe it took on all the responsibility of what's in the churchyard.
And if we have,
I may not agree with that as a thing,
so,
but it's
okay,
what we
there's two
did.
elements to this, isn't there? That we are proposing that we turn down the grant application and that the OTC will conduct an investigation as to the feasibility of studying, cleaning, or the, not feasibility, the necessity, thank you, the necessity of cleaning,
And then pay
that
for
we
it,
will
so-
come back and make a decision as to whether it needs doing or not.
Yeah, if it needs cleaning, then we bring it back to council
And
and
that has
say
to
we
come
pay
back,
for
it's
it.
taken from general reserves. So it'll be brought back to council.
But I don't know how to word that.
Well, we
Oh,
just
just capital.
Okay, thank you.
Are you happy to capture that?
Yep.
Unless you want me to repeat it, which I'm not certain I can.
You don't need to.
No, I'm thinking for the councillors.
I think they will.
Are we prepared to turn down this grant application and say that we will necessitate the investigation? We will determine the necessity of cleaning, and then we will fund that ourselves from Oakham Town Council.
Yeah, I'll second.
Yes.
Yeah, proposed, seconded. And let's have a vote then. Have you got who proposed and seconded?
Martin Brooks and Sally Ann.
Yeah. And vote is, Councillor Clark has decided to.
Harry.
Yeah.
Are you voting on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's unanimous.
Yeah.
So it's-
Because
you
it will
can-
get done if it's needed to be done. It's just who's going to pay for it.
Yes.
Exactly, we've just said that we will, because we are.
I think we are
that-
Well, we're
responsible
going to pay
for
either
it.
way.
Yeah, but I didn't want
Right,
to get
moving
rid of
on.
the grant
Let's
fund.
look at the time, gentlemen and ladies, and
Yes.
everybody else. We're now on, coming to the end.
Oh.
I know. The Save Rutland campaign. So, is everybody familiar with the Save Rutland campaign? It's being, because the reorganisation of local government has necessitated that Rutland will no longer become a county, and so this is proposing that the town council support that campaign, and Councillor Brooks has issued an amendment which should have the printed document in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah, item 16.
It's almost the same, it's just that
Yeah.
over a
I'll let you
period.
have your say, sir, as soon as I've finished.
Sorry.
We'll let you know, because this is a joint paper, I agree. So basically, A to E remain as is, F and G, as written on the amendment, suggest that we're going to say, yes, we can fly banners in support of the campaign across the at Centenary Field, by the Thought Road, and across the High Street by the Mill Street roundabout attached to the Christmas light wires. There is, the only budget implication is that we're going to produce a £30 worth of flyers to be put in windows. So with that in mind, does anybody want to speak to that? Councillor Brooks, I think you have the right to speak at this point.
Well, I think you said it all. I mean, I think the reason, but the reason that we brought the consent for flying the banners in what are council fixtures is because, although it's not political, it is a campaign, which makes it political in a small p, and it just felt right that all councillors had the opportunity to say, yes, we support. And this is important. I've slightly done a type there because it isn't really Save Rutland. It's Save the ceremonial status of Rutland.
And I'd just like to add one
Which
thing
I
to
have
that.
put in.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Atkin.
Okay, it's just at 16.1, the other paper, I've written out the draft official statement.
Oh, yes,
from the
the
Mayor of
chairman.
Oakham, which is actually point A. So if you want to critique that now, please do so. Otherwise, we will take a vote on the proposal amendment and the ratification of the official statement from
And we could-
Becky Thorpe or the Mayor of Oakham. We can
ignore any estimates.
That's being sponsored.
It's been sponsored, so that's gone. That is not the cost.
Okay.
The paper you've got from Pumpkin, please ignore.
Yeah.
That's gone for another person to sponsor, not us.
So with that all in mind, do I have any more questions from the floor or debating points? I see stony silence. I suspect that's a clock thing as well. And what I'd like to do now is that we actually vote on the proposal amendment for agenda items 16, which has been circulated to all, and we authorise a budget from general reserves of £30 for leaflets.
And you're proposing it, aren't we?
We are proposing, Martin, Councillor Brooks and myself, seconding, and we'll take a vote now, please. All those in favour?
Carried.
Carried, thank you.
Can we hand the official statement to the lady of the press?
Yes, you can.
Do you want it?
What is it?
It's the official statement. It fills a page on your...
It's got draft written on it, and he hasn't signed it.
Thank you. Right, okay. Oh, yeah, right.
You're a gentleman.
Saving the clerk a job,
the next one is, thank you all very much. We're getting to the end. Let's all give a huge sigh of relief. Item 17, we should better finish this without going into extra time. So, review of the risk assessment strategy. Town clerk.
Yeah, this is just an annual thing we do. Well, actually, we did this and trying to make it more frequent, so we did it 6 months ago, and I'm doing it again. And it's important we do this, and it's important that all councillors make certain they're aware of the risks that we undertake every day, and we do. And at times we have to take risks in doing things. But this is a critique that the auditor will look through thoroughly, and we need to look through thoroughly to just make certain that everything on this list is as you want it. So obviously I'm hoping that the codes can second this one. I've not gone through it. I don't believe anything needs amending since July. So it's up to councillors now whether they accept it as is. Oh, there's two hands there.
So let's go with Councillor Nix, who's hardly been out for today, thank you.
It's a lot of them are. It's very good. Thank you. Appreciate it. There's a lot of review in here. Is there a timescale proposed for review, or is it an ongoing?
It's an ongoing. Every annual year we should do a review of everything.
So we amended to say that?
So it's annual.
Can we amend it to say that?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. I am satisfied.
Okay, so wherever it says review level of fidelity insurance, for example, we want to do annually.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Can we write that? If we need to propose that, go
I
ahead.
was going to say something, if I might.
Of course you may.
Well, I've done this before. Basically what we've done is we've done a kind of a 1, 2 and 3, the high, medium, low, and the scales of the impact, and you simply multiply them together, so you get the high likelihood and high impact are the ones you really want to focus on. And I just wonder whether a colour coding system on this might help us to prioritise the actions that need to be
So
done.
you're suggesting low is amber, medium is, low is green, no.
Green,
Yeah.
Green,
yellow,
amber,
red.
Yes,
Green, amber and red.
Red, amber, green. But what I'm saying, so what are you going to propose for low? Green?
Yeah, yeah.
Amber for medium and high, is there any highs?
Yes, there is
There
some
is a couple of
highs, you
highs.
see.
Yeah, high in red.
And it basically, what we need to do is to look at the potential impact column and decide whether that's going to have a big impact, a medium impact, or little impact.
Yeah, the
That's
likelihood of occurrence is actually recorded, isn't it?
So when it comes back, you'd like it to have colour codes.
And colour code it, yeah.
Okay.
Because that will then, the agreed improvements column on the right will then be in priority order, if that makes sense.
There's a fortune in total.
In total, that's the only issue. Councillor Brooks.
Yes, when I looked at this, Chris is not wrong what he's saying there, but I think every organisation does it in a different way. There doesn't seem to be a template, and the whole thing confused me. But that's why I didn't want to do any more of it and handed it to the clerk and said, I think this is your responsibility. But it's an important thing, so I'm happy with what was there, and I would be happy to propose that. That's what I would say.
Okay, so we've got 2 amendments which we need to vote on, which is one that we include the word annual where applicable,
Yep.
and the action agreed, and that we're going to colour code the document where low is green, medium is amber, and high is ruby red, or any other shade of red actually. Yes. So, with those two proposals, can I have a proposer, seconder? Councillor Clark and Councillor Brooks, and they have a vote on acceptance of these amendments. Thank you. Good.
I think you're going to have to extend.
Absolutely fine.
Okay.
You can do it in 5 minutes, no one can.
I don't think so.
We've got, what, the next one? You don't think so? The boiler replacement is the last one, isn't it?
Yes, Chair.
You don't think we can do it in 5 minutes? Do you want to extend now, Councillor
I'd rather
Wadsworth?
be safe than sorry, yes.
Can we vote to extend the meeting for an additional 30 minutes, please? Proposed, seconded, and have a vote to extend for 30 minutes?
Yep.
It won't
Go
take,
to leave.
Anna, it won't take that long.
It's going to take 5 minutes, but
But it just,
If it gets to 31, we are technically not able to do it.
and then we have to do it again the next
The vote's
meeting.
carried without my vote anyway.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, so this is actually following on from the last meeting where we voted the funds with 3 conditions. One was that item 1, 3 suitable quotations which we have received, and we are our plan has been chosen by the Victoria Hall, and the total cost of 12,742. And I note your comments about comments, Councillor Clark. You're quite right. Secondly, a suitable grant agreement has been agreed upon, which we have shared. Obviously, we're going to sign subject to this, and it's going to be funded from SIL money, and we have confirmed in the grant agreement that they will invoice OTC directly, so that there's no shenanigans or possibility of shenanigans. Shenanigans not being a very good word, but if you come up with a better one, I'd love to hear it.
It's accountable.
It's accountable, thank you. And they'll invoice OTC directly, and we'll register, but the boilers will be registered with the manufacturing gas safe in the name of Victoria Hall. So I feel that this is meeting all the conditions specified in the original paper that was brought before council last time, and we are looking to move to pay to cover the costs of the boiler and to let Victoria Hall know that we are prepared to cover the cost of the boiler at £12,742.20, including VAT for a replacement boiler as detailed in the grant agreement and the quotation. So, questions? Councillor, anybody else first? And I'm not picking on you, I just want to try and give others a chance. No more questions apart from Councillor Brooks?
Yeah, I'm slightly confused because obviously the word grant was used, but now I know where that's coming from exactly.
It's actually, you could call it a funding agreement if you wish.
Yeah, but my understanding was that we agreed to move to Victoria Hall. No date set, but meeting that should be.
But that's a separate item we brought to council later.
But my understanding was that, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I heard that we would fund this if we were moving there.
No. There was no direct link made in the paper at all.
But it was, I don't know, I have a feeling that there were things said that we were going to do this if we were moving there.
We are.
I think the rumour mill worked wonders in Oakham.
It's affected me, obviously. But.
Yeah, so I just think there was so much misinformation that was going out about us and Victoria Hall. Some people reading information and making some assumptions about it. As far as I'm aware, we were keeping the two things very separate.
That's still my belief as well. Councillor Wadsworth, you were at the meeting with Victoria Hall when we discussed the grant agreement, etc., etc. Did you think there was a link between moving and the payment of this grant?
Not now. Like Martin said, I think originally it was part of the conversation.
Yeah.
But this paper doesn't mention anything about conditions of moving, etc., etc. So I think it's just a straightforward asking for money. We're taking it out of the SIL money because it's supposed to be used to improve
Community assets, yeah.
And
Yeah.
does that mean that because it's coming from SIL money, that the normal grant requirements don't apply to this, like when they wouldn't give us?
Well, what applies is the SIL money terms of reference, and we came up with our own 3 additional requirements in the last paper. One of those was the costs are fixed, and we have the 3 quotes. The second one was that the grant agreement, to a grant agreement, was drawn up and will be signed, which we are presenting to you now, and that we will pay them directly. Those are the 3 items that.
That's the safeguard.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well, I don't
Councillor
have a
Clark.
problem.
Yeah, no, just keep saying that it is the community's money. We are
Yes.
custodians of it, and it is for the community benefit that we're doing this. And it's important that Make Victoria Hall is usable and available for the community to use.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
But it's limited. It is limited community because, like, for instance, give you an example. You put a notice saying that the toilets in Victoria Hall. Now you go and try and use the toilets in Victoria Hall. There's a lock on the door and no one can use it.
Well,
So it's very limited community, and that's would be my issue with giving public money to it all along.
Okay.
With them is that it's very limited community.
This is why we got extra 30 minutes, and otherwise we'd be running over by a minute.
But no, I won't say any more. But
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
My
I'm going to take you at your
concerns,
word. So
my
moving on,
concerns have been
can I have a
settled.
proposer and a seconder, please? Proposed, seconded, Councillor Clark, Councillor Nix, and a vote, please, on the proposal as tabled. Councillor Brooks, are you abstaining or
No, I'm going to vote against.
you're going to vote against? Okay, thank you. So that was carried -1.
No, because she'll probably
Well, there's
come
every
and
point,
watch me.
every point in recording if you're not happy. So that brings us to the end of this meeting. Thank you so much.